Hi, I'm Erik Aase. I'm a partner within ISG Research and the global head of ISG Provider Lens. It's my privilege to be with my colleague, Mark Smith, who is also a partner in ISG Research and the global head of software research. So Mark, HCM, HR software, human capital management, those are areas that we really see a lot of movement. So what are some of the trends that you're seeing in the market that are impacting our clients?
Yeah, no, human capital management has really changed a lot in the last 5 years. I mean, you look at the software category itself, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of software providers that are there. And one of the most important things for CHROs and for HR leaders is really looking at employee experience, right? It's the impact, the engagement of our employees, our workforce, to make sure they're happy, they're satisfied, we're giving them the right tools to get the job done. So we see employee experience, one of the more important aspects that's going on. Second is around candidate engagement, right? We're looking at candidates and we go through the recruiting process. Are we communicating effectively? Are we talking about values and the impact that coming to work at an organization can have? And so those two are really critical, but we also look at really important things like, compensation and performance management, right? Everybody wants to have fair compensation, and large corporations have a lot more work to do, frankly, when it comes to transparency of pay, things around diversity, equity, inclusion, right? How do we all work to make sure that we're paying people properly and at the right levels? So it's there's a lot going on in the application categories in human capital management.
So there are a lot of changes, and so what are the things that our clients can do to make the best decision when they're going to buy that software? They're considering when they need to make changes.
Yeah, no, organizations have built up a collection of applications to support their processes. It has become a little bit messy, and when you have a whole portfolio of applications that don't work well together, then that increases the time and cost of managing them in an organization. So what at ISG we do is to help organizations look at the landscape of how they manage their workforce, their employees. What are the right processes that they might not have in place that they should be addressing? And then how do we get good application alignment? And the application alignment is to support that suite of applications. But that's not the only thing, because we go through an assessment and evaluation of what you might have today, but where you might need to go in the future. Right? I mean, that's a really challenging aspect for companies, is to figure out how that comes together. But even when you go through that and you get to the selection of a particular software provider, then we get into the real, well, what is the ecosystem of service providers that actually can make this all work? So it's the connection of software and service providers which make the magic of how companies can be highly effective in their HCM.
And I think you brought up a really good point. As you're writing that research, you're doing the research, you're publishing it out to the market, what can the rest of ISG do to help make that successful?
Well, first is we're generating a large volume of research, as you know, and from perspectives to white papers and different kinds of research. And of course, our buyer's guide research that we have here really looks at the software lens of how you should evaluate software companies along what we call the product experience and the customer experience. And so for everyone and using our research is to look at the buyer's guide. How do you get that right lens? How do you determine how to get to the short list? And that might be reevaluating your current software provider, but at the same time looking at external ones as well. And that's a challenging process that requires some thought to do that kind of assessment. But all the way through to evaluating your spend on the software. And it might be all the way through sourcing, looking at the right contractual aspects of your provider to ensure that you're getting the best deal possible.
Exactly. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we would both say to our colleagues, use our research, share it with your clients, share it with the market. So thanks a lot for the time to be with you today, Mark. It's great to get to know you better.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.